But you know, I'm flexible with it.
All right.
This is if you see me drinking something, this is mineral water. With a little bit of lime. Okay? Mineral water.
All right, so as we wait for other people to join and I try to get this camera right, if you were in our last class, if you were in the class that we had a couple of weeks ago,
Recently, yeah.
Can you just go ahead and put in the chat, what should they say, like, hey again, or
something, yeah,
second time around, or
so with us. Let's just know how long of an intro we got to do.
If you were here in the last class, ooh, yes, hey Charnel, second timer, we got 2 second timers. If you were here in the last class, yes, 3 people are back. I love it, I love it, I love it. So we are just giving some folks, yes, awesome, you tried the recipe, Charnel, fantastic.
Did you take pictures?
Oh, we got another second timer in here, fantastic. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Oh, somebody did take pictures. I don't know if
we need to see those.
Yeah, we're absolutely gonna need to see those. So,
yeah.
All right, we're giving people just another couple of minutes. We're gonna start at 2:05 for our friends who were a little bit busy at 2 o'clock and need a little bit of extra time. How you feeling today, Chef Chad?
Oh man, I'm awesome. I am in a good place. I was gonna ask you if you wouldn't mind.
Do you need something already?
Yeah.
Goodness, what do you need?
In my hip, you know, my waist.
You need your knife sharpener. Okay. All right.
Go. I mean, I sharpen them, but I still like to hone them a little bit.
So can you entertain our folks while I go do that?
I think I can do that. I can manage.
All right, you can manage.
All right, my people, welcome. So I cannot see the comments, but that's a good thing because I get distracted easily. I have like an adult form of ADD. It happens. My wife will tell you about that. Trust me, right? So today, we are going to do, if you see, and I know she can't pan yet, but when she gets back, she will. We are going to do something that is no meat, right? No meat. And I promise you, you will be satisfied, satiated by the end of this meal. And this is something that we can get the kids into. And that's a big one, right? Because I know we start bringing up a bunch of vegetables. Kids is like, they start making up their face. They start looking at you crazy. They start this kind of thing. And then they take that little taste, that little. And that's it. Don't worry. We got something for them. This is going to be amazing. Especially, I think you're going to love the cauliflower mash. We are at 2:04. So whoever's not in the room, we're going to have to keep it pushing. Right? We're going to have to keep it pushing because we have some things to do. So the only thing that I've done ahead of time is getting our water boiling. Okay? That is literally the only thing that I have done ahead of time. Everything else, we're going to do live. Right? And I do that. I'm not like a TV show. I'm not going to pre-prep and then show you a pretty package because I want you to know that you can do this at home in the same time and really less than what we do it here. So let's get started. I'm grabbing some potatoes because we need those to boil for our cauliflower mash. Now, when you're preparing a recipe, it is important that you do the thing that takes you the longest first. Y'all hear me here? Right? Huh? Okay. I'm going to show you how to cut one of these, and while I'm cutting the rest, my wife is going to do the full introduction. But like I said, we're going to start with what takes you the longest. That is definitely boiling out potatoes. We're using gold potatoes because we don't have to peel these because ain't nobody got no time for that. All right?
All right, wait. Someone says that they can't see us. Swipe to your screen to the right or to the left and see if that fixes your problem.
You can see us off to the right.
So you're just emptying out the water on the potatoes. Did you, we're gonna do an introduction in a second. For those of you who have not ever been in the class before, we're gonna do a little bit of an introduction. And we talk and cook at the same time.
Same time.
So that we can keep the class moving because we know y'all have things to do, Miramar, so we don't want to keep you here all day.
Yes. So you ready for the intro while I show them how to cut this one potato?
Yeah, you can show them how to cut the potato.
One potato. So start by cutting in half. right? And I know that cutting potatoes is really elementary, but I never take things for granted. You don't have to cut potatoes really small because you're boiling, just get a couple. So in half, and half again, and right down the middle. That's it, right? And half again, right down the middle. Super simple.
So you made them in nice sort of big chunks. They don't need to be small?
Okay. They don't need to be small, okay? So I'm gonna cut all these. Babe, while you do the intro, you got about 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh, you gave me 2 minutes. Okay.
Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. All right. Do you want to come back there and do it?
No, you have less than, you have a minute.
I have a minute? Oh my gosh, did I just burn a minute on that?
Well, I'm moving quickly.
All right. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much to those who have come back to this class. We're super excited. Thank you to Etna. Thank you to Charnel for bringing us back. It is so exciting to be here with Miramar. What we said in the last class is that we have worked extensively with Miramar, with the city of Miramar, at least in the past we had before we moved. And we are excited to work with a city that's so progressive and moves forward so quickly in terms of health and eating and, you know, being active and all of that. I know that you can't see me right now. I promise that you'll see my face before this video is over.
Do you promise that?
I do promise.
Okay.
Yes.
Look, Charnel, you're her. We gotta keep her to that.
Yes, you actually do have to keep me to that because I might very well forget. How many potatoes are you cutting there, Chef Chad?
This is about 7.
And
7 medium-sized gold potatoes. Once again, gold potatoes, because we aren't peeling a darn thing, okay?
And can I use other potatoes? Can I use red potatoes?
Red potatoes are great.
Okay.
Right? Red potatoes, gold potatoes, you don't have to peel them, and they work well for mashed potatoes. However, they have a higher starch content, so they're really, really good in like roasted potatoes for breakfast or in potato salad. The best mashed potatoes are going to be Idaho or russet potatoes. Those are going to be the best potatoes for mashing, but you do have to peel them. And yeah, we're not doing that. So we're just dropping them in. The water is pre-salted. I had it boiling and it is pre-salted. Salt, contrary to popular belief, does not help your water boil faster. It increases the temperature of the boil. So that means you get a hotter boil, which means it shortens your cook time. So I guess it does do something faster, right?
Yeah, which, you know, faster is always good in this instance.
Now, I had a flexible cutting board. I could have just picked the whole cutting board up and dropped this in instead of doing this one by one.
You could have.
That's how you know that even though you do this all the time, sometimes you have some issues. I do want to point out something interesting that I'm going to do, right? You saw on the last class, I talked about double gloves. I said I wear 2 sets of gloves to make sure I don't cross-contaminate anything, especially if I'm dealing with raw meat. Raw vegetables, potatoes, same thing. Even though we wash it off, you never know what can be on it. So I'm going to remove this cutting board and I'm going to change my gloves. Now, some people are probably like, yo, chef, man, you're going a little too far. You know, it's not really that big of a deal probably. But let me tell you what happened to Chipotle. When Chipotle was having the issue of everybody getting sick, what was happening was that their avocados on the skin, right? The things they were bringing in had bacteria on the skin, and they didn't know it. They couldn't find the reason why they kept making people sick. And it was something as simple as that. So with things that have porous skin, like potatoes, we're always going to be safe, not sorry, especially because during this time, no compromised immune systems, right, babe?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, so what are we doing to the cauliflower? Well,
I found this huge, beautiful head of cauliflower, which I'm very excited to work with. And I've got to get this white part away from the stem here. So I'm going to insert the tip right into that. We're just going to turn it. We're going to rotate, right? We're spinning it on his head. And we're going in. That's going to release these initial leaves, right? And yeah, you'll fling a couple of cauliflowers across the table. That's right. Now we're going to go in and just make one nice deep cut. That gets the bulk of the stem out. Now these bad boys, these lovelies, just come right back around again. Make another circle. And the rest of this you can do pretty easily, okay? Cauliflower, when it boils, gets amazingly soft. So you don't have to, you know, worry about getting too much more of the stem out. Babe, do you want to tell them just a little bit? We were reading up on cauliflower. We found some really dope stuff, didn't we, babe?
We absolutely did. So how many of you know that cauliflower has some of almost every mineral and vitamin that we need in our bodies? Like it is one, oh no. Did I talk to y'all last time about Chef Chad and the juggling?
I can do it.
This is, listen to me. Don't, nope.
I can do it.
Nope.
It's just cauliflower.
You did it the last time.
I didn't try.
Okay, go ahead. Hurry up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. All right. Everybody give Chef Chad yes, dinner and a show. Dinner and a show.
It's the little things that make me happy.
It is the little things. It is the little things.
This water that I'm boiling the cauliflower in is unsalted, right? So just drop the heads in. You don't have to worry about making them too small. Like I said, cauliflower gets super soft.
So salt in the potato water.
Yes.
No salt in the cauliflower.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You don't have to.
We can remember that.
Yeah.
And then cauliflower, yeah. So cauliflower is actually an excellent source of vitamins and minerals. And it contains almost every vitamin and mineral that our body needs. So it's like a great source of vitamins and minerals. It's high in fiber. Did you know that just 1 cup of cauliflower will give us 10% of what we need on a daily basis? And I love cauliflower. I don't know about y'all, but cauliflower is the star of this particular recipe. You're really filling up that. I mean, even that high, is it gonna
Oh yeah. The steam on this is gonna be
really, so you're really trying to steam it more than boil it.
Well, because cauliflower is gonna get really soft really quickly. So the steam on this, you don't have to worry about it. I'm just gonna cut these. I'm gonna make it all fit. It'll cook down really, really fast. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then cauliflower, what do they say about cauliflower and inflammation?
So it reduces inflammation, which I find like I know as you're saying this and even reading it, I was like, darn, cauliflower is a superfood. And I tend to think of things like acai or pomegranate,
yeah.
What's the other one? Omega-3s, a flaxseed. I think of those as our superfoods. But cauliflower is on that list, right? And then talk about the carb factor, because this I found dope, because I've seen a lot of cauliflower rice and cauliflower pizza, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not buying frozen cauliflower in the bag for cauliflower rice. That's just not something I'm gonna do.
Tell me why. Does it come out too soft? Why not?
It's a texture thing. I think it comes out too soft, and I feel like they're cheating me. This one head of cauliflower, which costs less than $3 in the grocery store, overfilled this pot. And before, when I make cauliflower rice, I take a cheese grater and I just grate the fresh cauliflower. And it's so quick. I'm like, why would I buy it in the bag and get less?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm paying more because I think that bag of cauliflower rice is a little more than $3. So cauliflower is a superfood, and who would have thought it, right?
And it's also really easy to incorporate. So you talked about cauliflower rice, cauliflower mash. I saw cauliflower mac and cheese as well.
Yep, I've seen cauliflower mac and cheese. I've seen cauliflower pizza crust. Now that may be a little too far, but somebody somewhere is living their best life with that pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I love cauliflower. If you love cauliflower or have used cauliflower in a really unique way, can you post it in the comments so we know?
Gail, the buffalo cauliflower bites she made, wow. We have a friend that's a raw vegan chef. She made some buffalo cauliflower bites. Man, listen, bro, you can eat that thing all day.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, as we said, like cauliflower is the star of this particular recipe, just because it has in there like everything that it has in there everything that we need. It's an antioxidant. They said that it is shown to slow the growth of cancer cells. Did you know that? I mean, I feel like cauliflower is one of those vegetables that we can always add to our
repertoire.
Yeah, that we can always add to our repertoire because it's versatile, it's not expensive, full of vitamins and minerals, and easy to work with.
And awesome. As we're talking about the different health benefits of cauliflower, I think it's important to point out why we chose to go with what is technically a vegan meal, right? We want to demystify, I guess, vegan, right? Eating like this is the way our ancestors ate. It's the way every ancestor ate, right? Getting meat, animal protein, was difficult, right? Catching chicken, someone had to literally catch it. So we want to say that now it seems interesting or it seems unusual to eat a vegan meal if you're not of that lifestyle. But truthfully, this is like going back to the beginning, right? Getting back to the start of things. And for you in this period of time, think about it like this. Our bodies can heal us. And when we go to a doctor, they give us pharmaceuticals, PHARM, right? But I want to talk to you about FARM, FARM, pharmaceuticals. I have a chef friend in Baltimore who literally sells microgreen broccoli, kale to Johns Hopkins University. They dehydrate it, put it into a capsule form, and then resell that same microgreens that he grows. They resell it in capsules for a couple $100 for a bottle for cancer patients, right? So when she says things like cauliflower reduce cancer, that's telling you right there, like nature has some healing effects. So when we eat vegan or vegetarian, we give our bodies time to lessen the digestion, right? Like meat takes a long time to digest. So you can do this and it gives your body less stuff to work with, which overall is going to end up with your body working on healing itself and boosting your immune system. So that's my little rant about it, my little spiel. Ask questions, let's jump right in there. I have a lot of cutting to do, so you're getting 2 classes in one because you're getting a recipe and
they're gonna get a knife class, a cut class as well.
Yes.
All right, awesome. I hope y'all are ready.
The broccoli.
All right, so what kind of knife are you using?
I'm using a chef knife, right?
Okay.
You notice tapered edge, okay? Now the back of your blade is the sharpest part of your blade, so when you go to hold the knife properly, you don't do this, right? No finger up here. You don't do this. Take that same pointer finger, find a balance point on your knife, right? Find the point that it balances. Wrap your thumb around the back of the blade and then these other 3 fingers like so, okay? So you're holding the metal. You have a strong cut and the rest fingers are holding the handle. Now when you cut, don't cut straight because that's not natural. Find the natural curve of your arm. If your arm curves a little bit this way or further this way, find what's comfortable so that you align your wrist and your arm and you don't hurt and you don't pull any muscles, all right? So we're gonna start with this. We're gonna cut the stem off. Now in this recipe for bulk, you can still use the stem. So let me move this to make sure that you can see everything, right? So cut the base of the stem off, this part. Take this part, and we're just gonna cut this smaller because we're still gonna use the stem. The stem is gonna give us a nice bit of crunch, right? A lot of times when we're doing vegetable items, we don't have the texture that we need. We don't have the crunch that we need to provide. So broccoli stems are edible, and if you ever get broccoli from a farm, broccoli leaves are phenomenal.
Oh yeah, talk about broccoli leaves for a second, because people sleep on broccoli leaves, right? We pick them off and we throw them away, but talk about broccoli leaves. What do you use broccoli leaves for?
I treat them like collards.
Yeah.
I treat them just like greens, right? Broccoli leaves, I'll break them off. They look like greens, right? You break them off, I bunch them up, I'll chiffonade them real quick. Chiffonade just means a nice thin cut, and I'm gonna saute them like I would do some greens. And
awesome.
They're amazing. With the broccoli, we're not gonna cut them too small, just right in half, right? We're just gonna break them off.
So this wok seared, this particular wok seared recipe, you have squash, you have zucchini, you have broccoli, but can you use other vegetables? Like, could I use an eggplant?
1000%, man. I actually love onions and peppers, and that's why you see them on the table, because in my household, I would add those in, but I wanted to be cognizant of you guys. Like, if you have kids, I know we're already giving them a lot of vegetables with this one dish, so I didn't want to add anything else they could potentially reject and be like, nope, not doing it. And onions sometimes will be that one thing that you just cross the line, you're going too far away. So,
awesome. Can you show me I see the cauliflower over there. Like, I wasn't sure about the cauliflower and how much you were putting in, but it's actually like,
yeah,
it's actually cooking down and softening up.
Really quickly. Like
Oh
I'm
my
really
gosh.
putting no effort into that. Just let it boil up.
Wow. I did
Super.
not think that was gonna work out that way. I have
See,
faith in you, honey.
yeah,
I really
after all these
I
years,
have
man,
listen, I have faith in you. I do. It's just that cauliflower. I mean, y'all that are watching, you know that cauliflower looked like it was gonna spill out. I didn't think it was gonna work out. But okay.
You've seen me work some magic though.
I have seen you work magic. So now I know that it can be done and I don't have to use an extra large pot for that.
Nope. You've seen me do my thing.
So you're dicing the broccoli. Do we have to actually make it that small?
No, just the stems.
Just the stems, okay.
Just the stems, right? So these little pieces that you see right here, I kind of cubed them, rough chop, right? Not too small. Those are going to give you a nice crunch, which I promise you will be thankful for when it comes to mouthfeel, just texture.
And I can eat it raw, right?
Totally, you can eat it raw.
Try raw.
It doesn't taste like much of anything. Let me give you a really small piece. She's being adventurous for y'all. That broccoli tastes like real broccoli raw.
Actually, it's really sweet.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, then go for it. I have to dip my broccoli in ranch. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm
It's actually really, really sweet. Do you think that getting an organic broccoli would be different than getting a regular one?
1,000%. Flavor wise, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1,000%.
So can you touch on really, really quickly? I know we're doing like this specific recipe class, but we have a little bit of time. Can you talk about the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen?
Yeah.
If anyone knows, if anyone that's watching knows what the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen is, what those lists are, can you go ahead and chime in on the chat? Chef, what's the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen?
Okay, good. So the Clean 15 is a list of 15 items that you don't have to buy organic if your reason for buying organic is to get rid of pesticides or chemicals or any of that trace stuff, right? So they are things like, technically, an onion. I can pull off the outside layer, right? I'm not going to eat that. Pineapples, watermelon, right? Things that have skin, bananas, they're going to be on the Clean 15. The Dirty Dozen are items where pesticides will really seep in. So those are things like strawberries, right?
Because they have those little grooves and they're super sweet. So
they go right in. What was the one thing that was added this year that we saw that was kind of interesting?
I don't remember what was added, but I know apples are on that list and grapes are on that list. So like fruits.
Some of our favorite stuff, man.
Some of our favorite things. So
and it's
if you can buy those organic, you absolutely want to, right? But they have to say organic on them, right?
USDA certified organic. And the reasoning is this, right? If you think of pharmaceuticals from your farm, you have to realize that anything that's foreign that comes into your body has to fight. So pesticides, chemicals, so ladies, that's all the skin stuff, so on and so forth. That gives your body more things to fight. And the reason why we bring that up is because we want to increase our immune system. It's time of COVID right now, so we don't want to have anything making our immune system have to work harder. We want to be able to use whatever we have and work smarter. So if you just give your bodies a little bit of break, you'll notice that your bodies will also give you a break. I cut this 2 ways, in half and whole, because I want to show you 2 different cuts that you can use, right? Because you can pick. So we're going to cut this on what's called a bias. So normally people cut straight. We're going to turn our knife an angle, and we're going to cut slanted. And we're going to cut long bias, right?
Can you give me some slow cuts on that so that they can see it like what it looks like slowly?
Tell me when you're ready.
Go. If you notice, Chef is actually sliding the knife through. There's sort of a forward, backward motion when he's sliding through the vegetables, right? He's not just coming straight up and straight down. Also, his knife is not leaving the cutting board. No. He's not lifting his hand and bringing it down on the cutting board. It's kind of a sliding motion, which you're going to see again here. Yeah. Slide, slide. Do it slow. The tip, you notice the tip of that knife? The tip of that knife is sliding back towards the zucchini so that he can guide the knife to where he wants it to be, which is how you get those nice cuts.
Gives you a marker, all right? So the difference is here versus here. And you
Nice.
decide what is more visually appealing to you and your family. From a bite standpoint, this is going to be easier to bite, but some people may love this. You love chunky. I'm going to go with the thinner one, but I just
And also
chunky
is helpful, right? Because it's not gonna, you're gonna get sort of the crunchier vegetable that you were talking about before. The mushy sort of, I think one of the issues that a lot of people have with like vegetarian meals is that if you overcook your vegetables,
oh my gosh,
you're gonna get like just a bunch of very, very soft, not so friendly in your mouth vegetables, which is
you get that
not the best.
We don't want that. And see, I just cut it in half. This one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give us half and half, right? So once again, go slow.
Nice.
And to me, that's slow. So I don't know. I'm trying to be conscious.
You can do the other ones regular. I think we're good.
All right, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. If y'all want to see Chef do a couple of different cuts, just let us know in the chat.
Yeah. We're not dicing these. We're keeping them big.
So Charnel said that she loves the cauliflower crust at California Pizza Kitchen. Man, I have not been there in forever. I didn't even know they had that.
See?
I love cauliflower anyway. Cauliflower is like one of my favorite vegetables, so I can eat that raw and I'm good.
Going in. I'm checking the doneness. You see how this is already cooked down a lot? The color has changed. You see how easily my knife goes right through that, y'all?
That is amazing.
This is almost ready. That's only going to take a few more minutes. Let's check on these potatoes. Yep, those are almost done too.
So you just picked it up and it sort of fell off the knife. It broke apart, right?
I tried to stab it. See, this one stayed, but it falls right off. It goes through
Lovely.
really easy. Those are almost done.
Lovely.
We love that, right? So we have one more thing to cut. And these are just some tomatoes. Now, I want to take a second again and show you the tomatoes, and then we're going to start sauteing and building, and we're ready to eat. Cut off the top of your tomatoes so you can stand them up, right? Now, if you want, I said diced tomatoes. If you don't want to cut tomatoes, you can use canned diced tomatoes, which have a little bit of juice. I'm preferring my stuff just to be a little fresh today, so that's on me, right? Once you
and fresh is always best, right? Because I hear you recommend fresh vegetables all the time, just like
the flavor is so different. Like even the cheat code for making salsa, and I'm gonna make 3 cuts down the middle of this potato. If you take a tomato. If you take a store-bought, see now I'm the one getting confused. But if you take a store-bought salsa and you add some fresh cilantro and just some fresh tomatoes and a little bit of seasoning, totally changes the flavor. It feels like you made a salsa from scratch. Now that right there is the power of fresh. I mean, it flavor-wise, you literally can't beat it. So we lay it flat, right? Anything round must be made flat so that you don't cut yourself. Here, once again, make that claw because we're dealing with something small. So this hand should be in a claw, right? Reason for it is if I go to cut, I don't cut my fingertips. I just buck up on my knuckles. And when you cut, don't cut straight down, cut on an angle, right?
And you're cutting on the waxy side, right? So you don't squeeze all the juice out of your...
Yes, and
a sharp knife.
I'm flicking my tip. I go in on the back, come out with a flick.
Why the flick?
Because this is not something that you want to do slow, because that helps you squeeze out the juice as well. Right. And your knife is sharp enough, believe it or not. So you go in, so you enter on the front on a forward thrust, you come out with a flick.
Because in knife work, the back of your blade is actually the sharper part of your blade. Should be the sharper part of your blade, right? So you're gonna want to slide through. Yeah. Instead of squeezing down on your fruits and vegetables, you want to slide through.
And if you notice on every cut, listen, when I push forward, I'm actually in. When I pull back, I'm disconnected, and I've already gotten into it by the time I push forward, right? A lot of people they don't push forward, just push down. Push forward, right? Push forward, that's it. And you're in. And make some nice dices. We're good to go. All right, and we get to mashing. Do you want to tell them what is so unique about my cauliflower mashed potatoes? I think this gonna blow their mind when they see it. When they're gonna be like, "Yo, no way, chef, no way, you're not gonna be able to do that."
All right, why don't you just show them instead of tell them?
Show instead of tell?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's terrible that they're not going to get to taste it. Listen, Miramar, we are going to figure out a way to bring you food.
Yeah,
I don't know when that's going to happen, but for those of you that are in this class and that are taking this class, I'm going to negotiate with Chef Chad on your behalf, and we will figure out how to bring you food, because it is a shame that you're taking these classes and you're not able to taste this. But Chef is not gonna use any butter.
No butter.
We gotta, oh yes, please.
What? Oh yes.
Oh yes, we will absolutely figure out how to bring you food. We're gonna make it happen, because I don't think it's right that we're cooking. We're cooking for you, but we don't get to get you fed.
Listen,
so
no butter, no cream.
No butter, no
in
cream
these potatoes.
in the potatoes, right? So we're talking a true. Oh, I like your hack.
Thank you.
Look at
See,
that.
I put it in backwards, y'all. My wife told me I was using the calendar wrong, so I said, all right, let's get it. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
All right, still in
All right,
the pot.
so our potatoes are ready to go. Chef, let's talk about why vegetarian, right? There's such a big debate. Do we have any vegetarians or
This one is too cool.
do we have any vegetarians or vegans in this class right now? If we do, just post the word veg, or.
So if you notice, this pot has a little spigot, so I'm able to
Drain it out just like that. Nice.
Now
It's important to have the tools.
You know, the tools.
All right, we have one vegetarian or vegan in the class. Do we have anybody else who's vegetarian or vegan?
This is hot. You should use a spoon. It's hot. I just don't have a lot of feeling in my fingertips. I say that because I always have to tell people to not do what I do. All right? Use a spoon, people.
So are you adding the cauliflower to the potatoes?
Huh?
You're adding the cauliflower to the potatoes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
All right,
And
man.
being incredibly loud.
I'm just making sure everybody's awake. Make sure everybody's awake.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. So we have
preheat my wok while we get ready to do this.
We have one vegan or vegetarian in the class, Chef Chad.
Yes.
I want us to talk about the importance of incorporating a vegetarian diet.
Well, like I said right earlier, so I've been using the word pharmaceuticals throughout this whole demo. And what I'm talking about is not PHARM. I'm talking about FARM, pharmaceuticals, preferably local pharmaceuticals, right? This is really how you heal yourselves. The vitamins, the nutrients that we find in each vegetable. Everything that we eat, every vegetable, every fruit has a different color, and each color represents a different nutrient or micronutrient. I don't know how many people in last class heard me say this, but America is the most obese, malnourished country in the world, right? Most obese, malnourished. That means, yeah, we got the bellies, and I earned mine, but we don't have good nourishment. So hold on, I gotta add in something. Y'all saw that that pan was smoking hot, right? Smoking hot. You have to get your wok up to temp, okay? Or your skillet, wok or skillet, smoking hot. Don't cook in a cold skillet. If you can hear that sizzle, that's what you need. That's what you need. Now, my wife is turning on the fan, because if y'all were with me last class, you know we had a little bit of an issue. So I did spray it first. I used a little bit of vegetable oil so it doesn't stick, and I'm using a little bit of vegetable oil, not the spray. I use it in a squeeze bottle so I don't put too much in. All right, that's about 2 tablespoons. We're gonna let this work. Don't touch it. Let it work. Let it do what it does. Come over here. Since this pot is so full, this is something you can do when you're making regular mashed potatoes. Instead of trying to mash straight down, take a knife and cut straight down, right? There are times when I'll take 2 knives, I'll take 2 knives and I'll get in here and I'm like, ah! That's just more so when I'm having fun with my son, when I want to mess with him. I have a 7-year-old who I'm teaching how to cook everything. His Chris literally was in the kitchen. Once you've done that, go ahead and start mashing.
That's nice and simple. So you haven't added anything yet.
No seasoning, no nothing, not yet. I want to mash it down first, start mixing it, and then I'm mixing the seasoning. And it's not a difficult mash. Now, I've got a pretty cool masher. It's right here. Hold on. Now, broccoli, I want to show this though while I'm at it. Can you see that some of it's starting to get a char? See like this char right here? See that char? That's flavor. Let your broccoli char. What did we talk about on the recipe? I think each vegetable gets a minute or 2. And then we add a new veggie. So I need y'all to keep me honest, right? Keep me honest out there. Let me know my time.
And it really depends on how much vegetables you're making, right?
Yes.
And you talked about the char. Do you think that is the reason why maybe some people don't like vegetables? Because I know we've had a bunch of customers who, not even customers, let's talk about like our nieces and nephews who did not like Brussels sprouts or
I was gonna name those.
Right. They didn't like Brussels sprouts. They didn't like vegetables. But when you do them correctly, with where they end up with this nice char on them.
Can y'all see that? Can y'all see all that char?
Beautiful.
Right? That's what we want. When you do it correctly, go ahead, babe.
Yeah, so when you do it correctly, you get this caramelization, which sort of pulls out the natural sugars to where it ends up with a different flavor than if you just boiled it, or if you didn't sear it in a hot wok or skillet.
A little bit. Yeah. She always talks about me because, you know, what happens is a good chef is also a semi-messy chef. So we just wanted to toss those up a little bit. We're halfway through. I put in the squash and zucchini. We want to let those touch the bottom of the pan, but not too much. And now we're going to add a little bit of seasoning. We're going to use our roasted garlic, which is very, very low sodium. Roasted garlic is only 4% of your daily value of sodium. So we sprinkle. And remember, broccoli and garlic are friends, okay? Roasted garlic in there, a little bit of adobo. We're gonna be quick on this one. Just from the top, once across, once back. That's all you need, right? Really, really quick. And we're gonna add just a little more oil in. I'm going to use this so that I don't mess with my wife's constitution anymore by flicking things.
I appreciate that.
Across the room. I like messing with it. But seriously though, right? If you want to learn how to toss in a wok and stuff, get a cold pan, get some cold cheese puffs, and then put those into a pan and start practicing. And you practice by push forward and pull back. That's the toss.
You're not actually flicking your wrist.
Do not flick up. It's a push back and toss. This wok is super full, and I'm gonna spill some, which I don't mind, but I'm not gonna do that to the white today.
I really do appreciate that.
I'm not gonna do it today. So I added in all my veggies, and if you notice, I'm adding it at different stages because I want to preserve the texture. I'm gonna add in some mushrooms. These are portobello mushrooms.
Can we use other mushrooms as well?
God. Any kind.
I mean, I love portobello mushrooms. I think they have like the best flavor, at least the flavor that I really like.
If you can get some oysters or some morels, amazing. And the last thing I'm adding in, which is actually not on your recipe, is shredded carrot, because I was talking to my wife, and we need color. Color is important. Okay. So now that those two are in, we season again.
So let's talk about color. And I believe we talked about this in the last class. We talked about
and one new seasoning, gourmet burger.
Oh, awesome.
This is mainly for the mushrooms. Very low sodium. This one is amazing, but on mushrooms, it's really phenomenal.
This is the Weber gourmet burger. These Weber seasonings are really, really good. They're flavorful.
Yes. And Mushrooms taste meaty, which is why mushrooms are in there, because they're meaty. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook down. But you were saying, Dave?
So yeah, I was saying let's talk a little bit about color, right? We eat with our eyes, and so that is so pretty. We eat with our eyes, and so it's important to have color, right? So you don't want everything the same. You don't want to have a plate that's just green or just yellow or just red. Being able to have those colors in there is important. And so when we give a recipe, if you ever take a class with us, as a matter of fact, if you take a class with any other chef, if you watch a cooking, a show on the cooking channel, or if you know what I'm saying? If anyone ever gives you a recipe, we firmly believe that you should experiment with those recipes. We believe that, and I should have shown them that seasoning. What did you just put in there?
Yes, roasted garlic and adobo. So when we're showing you recipes, we try to use seasoning that you can use for the whole recipe. I don't want you to go out and have to buy 15 different seasonings. It's just not necessary.
So far we've used adobo, right?
Roasted garlic.
Roasted garlic. I'm gonna reach in here. So we've used adobo, and we use the Goya adobo because it has no MSG in it.
Yep.
We've used the roasted garlic, which is the Weber, and then of course we use that gourmet burger.
Yep.
All right.
And if you've noticed, our saute time in total, we're coming up on about the 10-minute mark on the saute time. Okay? Which is just about the right time to finish this. We're going to add in some stuff to make it a little bit of a gravy to deglaze the pan. I want my mushrooms to get a little more heat. So when I say words like deglaze, what that's talking about is when you sear something, there's a lot of bits that are stuck to the bottom of the pan. So in culinary terms, that's how we start our sauces and our gravies. We will take something acidic, like soy sauce or wine or vinegar, and you'll drop it into the bottom, and it pulls up all those little bits, which are just delicious flavor that's hiding there for you, and it allows you to then make a little gravy. And of course, if I'm eating mashed potatoes, I want some gravy. And let me show you something else real quick. Y'all saw me, right? No cream, no butter, right? No milk, no fat. You see how smooth that is? Right? And I'm just flipping around. I hope you can see how smooth that is. That goes to show you can make delicious mashed potatoes without those, because the cream and the fat, while it adds some flavor, it's mainly for texture. The cauliflower does a lot of that work for you. Okay? So now let's get into deglazing. At this point, add your tomatoes in. That's all of your color. Add your tomatoes in. Okay? And let's add in, I've got soy sauce. If you notice, I put that the rice wine vinegar is optional. It depends on your flavor palette. In my house, we're gonna like a little bit of this, right? This is a much milder vinegar than the vinegar you would use if you use apple cider. So we just put just a little bit. It's gonna find its way down to the bottom. You don't need a lot, right? Especially with vinegar. Vinegar is always something you can do without. Low sodium soy sauce, because we're gonna use a little bit more of this. So
could I just use water instead of, if I just added the tomatoes and like used water? If I was nervous about using the...
If you're nervous about it, you can, but you need something acidic. So maybe you have to use a little bit of lemon juice or lime or something. Yeah, you
could I use an orange?
Yo, genius.
Nice.
Nice, right? Citric is gonna get it.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yeah,
now,
I could squeeze a couple oranges in there.
What's gonna happen is, and I wanna show you guys because it's hard to believe, I didn't add a lot, but can you see on the bottom? See that? You saw I did not add a lot of juice, but so can you see all that liquid right there?
Yeah, that's good.
And I did not add a lot, but what happens is vegetables are gonna make their own gravy, and just by adding that little bit deglazing, it gives you a very nice gravy. Now for the coup de grace, you really wanna go overboard, especially if y'all don't know about this coconut milk. Take a little bit of coconut milk, pour it in, add a little bit of flour, and you'll get you a thick, richer gravy. We're not gonna do that today, but I wanted to show you, this is amazing, right? And that's quick. So I didn't get any questions.
Let's see. So
I do wanna show.
Darlene said she's been hating on the cauliflower. Why? Why have you been hating on the cauliflower? Do you just not like cauliflower, or?
You ain't had it right, girl. You ain't had it. Man, you. That's all it is, cuz. I promise you. You let me cook you some cauliflower. We're gonna have a good conversation. We're gonna be friends. All right? I'm actually gonna turn this down to low, and then we're gonna plate really quickly. I wanted to talk about this hot sauce. Anybody that loves spice, this is acidic. This can be used as deglazer, so that could substitute
Really?
for your low sodium soy sauce, or if you have some sriracha.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right? All right, babe. So will you do me a favor and pass me just a paper towel, and I'm gonna plate for my lovely people, and we get to taste and take questions, and we get to tell you what we're doing on Saturday, because on Saturday we're gonna be having some fun out in the community. I got a couple of tomatoes that didn't make it in. Everybody's joining this party. Don't think you can skip out, right? You're on that cutting board. You got me the paper towel in?
Right here.
Yep.
And I grab you.
And I'm just clearing stuff. We're gonna plate on the pretty wooden plates.
Oh, you got them. Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm pre-plate ready.
All right. So,
Tell me ready, Freddie.
any questions about this recipe or about any other recipe
Can I
that
ask
you've
your
seen,
opinion?
or food questions?
Can I ask your opinion, guys? Oh, wife's saying this plate. Everybody agree? This plate versus this one? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That plate it is. Okay.
All right. So,
Put that bad boy back.
all right. So, if you had to substitute vegetables, Chef Chad, tell me again. So, you said onions. You do onions, peppers.
I would add in onion and peppers. Probably some colored peppers, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely would add those.
But I could do eggplant.
Yeah.
I could do artichoke.
Eggplant is gonna be eggplant's gonna give you a lot of moisture, so that's fine. Artichoke is a little difficult to work with, but you can do it. But asparagus, Brussels sprouts, right? All of those fold in really, really nicely.
And the
Actually,
consistency.
I think I wanna lay this like this.
The consistency of those potatoes are great.
Yeah, I mean, you see, I can work with them in my hand. They're not.
Could I do cauliflower without the potatoes?
Yes. However,
I need a
it's
lot more
You
cauliflower.
need a lot more cauliflower, and it is going to mush down.
Okay,
right?
so so it would break apart more.
Yeah, it's potatoes really give it. I mean, cauliflower really loses its structure once it's boiled. So just boil it less.
Okay.
Cook it. Use a little more. Cook it a little less, and then you can get it like you want it. Right?
Wow, that looks like it has meat in it. That is so cool. Charnel wants to know, would you say a head of cauliflower would make enough mash for 4 people, or would she need more?
Are you using potatoes or just cauliflower?
Yeah, do you want to just use cauliflower, or you want to do the recipe exactly like this? If you do the recipe like this, this one big head is more than enough. Can you show that pot over there with the potatoes? Because how many?
I use 7 potatoes.
Seven little
one big head.
potatoes, right? 7 little potatoes and 1 big head of cauliflower made more than enough.
I mean, more than enough.
So you'd be able to get a
you see
couple
my
of meals
gravy?
out of it.
Can y'all see the gravy?
Yeah, just lean it this way, Chef. That's amazing. That made that much gravy.
You see how much-
Wow.
Look at that, y'all. It makes so much gravy,
Wow.
right?
Yeah, you would really think you'd need meat for this, but this is great.
It makes so much gravy. We're pouring it on top because that's all flavor, right? So here's the thing, right? I cooked this for real. I didn't cook this for a picture. So my veggies are softer. They're still a little crunch. It doesn't stand up as much, but this is still really nice. If I was cooking this for a picture, we would have barely cooked the vegetables because you want it to be brighter and bolder. But we're going to eat this. So I want my wife
I'm
to show.
going to show it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So once again, that's because we cooked it for real. So my veggies actually cooked soft. You know, like food for pictures, we would have barely cooked anything, and it would have just looked really pretty, but it wouldn't be edible. So we are people that eat what we talk about.
Well, before we go, Chef Chad, let's talk about some sauces, right? Can we do different sauces with this? Like, I would love this with some kind of like Asian sesame. Like, instead of vegetable oil, could I use maybe like a sesame oil?
Yeah.
And then
So
do like a
if you wanted-
ginger
if you
glaze
wanted
or
to make this-
something?
if you want to make this totally Asian, my wife is right. Instead of vegetable oil, start with a sesame oil, and then you can use everything from a fish stock. They have the fish sauce, which is really strong, or the fish paste, use a little bit, which gives you a lot of umami. Or you can use some
Umami, as in the taste.
yes.
Okay, so
Sorry.
there's salt, sour. I have to slow you down sometimes, Chef Chad. Umami, as in the taste,
Yes.
right? As in there's salt, there's sour,
Savory.
there's
It's that salt, sour. So in your taste buds, salt, sour, spice, right? And sweet.
right?
But umami is almost it's almost a balance, right? It's this perfect savory blend.
Mm.
So when they talk about fish stocks, they always talk about umami with that. So you could use that with the sesame oil, and then we can do things like hoisin sauce,
Oyster.
teriyaki, oyster sauce. Any of those blends would be nice. If you want to go more Thai, you can get a sweet Thai chili.
Mhm.
If you want to do more, I'm trying to think about other. Let's go Latin, right?
We could do a chimichurri, make a chimichurri or something with it.
Oh, that chimichurri would be bad, babe.
Awesome.
That chimichurri, or some mojo, right?
Ah, yes.
Mojo.
Which they sell. I mean, every grocery store you can find mojo. You can
Mojo.
find chimichurri, which you'd have to probably doctor up
Yeah.
depending on your taste buds. Okay,
If we're
awesome.
going Caribbean, you can make a jerk or a curry, right? Curry with potatoes, phenomenal. We actually make coconut curry sweet potatoes, which is out of this world.
Yeah. So we have like 7 more minutes. If you do have questions, post
I
them.
have something.
Post them in the comments. I have something as well.
You're supposed to be in front of the camera. You have to
Oh
come
my
say hi.
gosh.
You said, see, I'm keeping her honest, people. Didn't she say she was gonna come over?
I
And-
said that, but okay.
Just come show your face.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get her next to me.
I'm coming. You can talk about Saturday.
You're good, man. So, we are really in quarantine, so that's why I'm wearing
We
this hat,
still have it.
because my hair, it's insane. But I'm going to answer your questions, and I want to tell you briefly about Saturday. So we have been doing feedings. We've actually been going and feeding the community for free. So we'll be down in Overtown at the Urban this Saturday. We're going to post it on our personal pages, which you can always follow Chef Culture with a K. So Chef Culture with a K is one of our personal pages. And then I am Chad Cherry, and my wife is Karen Pandy Cherry. We're going to be feeding families for free at the Urban this Saturday in Overtown. So that is anybody that needs food. You can come and pick up to 4 meals. The meals are going to include dessert and a beverage, and they're full meals. This isn't like some simple giveaway. These are chefs that are actually doing this. So we want you to tell a friend if y'all want to come down and meet us, or if you want to come volunteer, we're taking that as well, right? Come over and say something, babe.
Hi. This is the face behind the voice that has been talking to you this entire time. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't think we did the full introduction in the beginning, but as my husband said, I'm Karen Pandy Cherry. This is Chef Chad Cherry. We are the co-founders of Chef Culture, which is an ecosystem for Black and Brown culinary professionals. So if you know any culinary professionals, please tell them about us. We are excited to, I think we're teaching a class next week as well.
Yes.
I think next week we are talking about meal planning and meal prepping. And so this is a good start to that because
I'm just adding some garnish. Garnish is always nice.
so we're doing meal planning next week, but dicing the vegetables ahead of time, and what would you do with them? Just bag them up? Would you freeze, would you
well,
freeze
some
them or
you
just
can.
put them in
Like
the refrigerator?
onions can be frozen. Other vegetables I wouldn't. But what we're going to do with meal planning and getting prepared is we're going to show you how to hack your week. Basically, if you give us an hour and a half, especially if you have some children that are available, especially little people with good backs, they're great for prepping, right?
Yeah, so
We
a
get
lot
some
of cutting and just
lot of cutting,
making
some
sure that you're planning ahead
parboiling.
of time.
Yeah, you plan certain things ahead, and your week, you can always have a meal on the table under 20 minutes. If you notice, this was a 20-minute meal, but we were talking. I was talking all the way through it.
Well, we're not feeding anybody outside, so I can stick my hand in here,
You can stick your hand all the way in there if you want to. That's for you, baby.
Really, really good. All right, so if you don't have any questions, then I'm gonna run back by.
You want to make sure it's on?
I showed my face. I said hello. I'm gonna run back by because I see like
See a couple of scrolling?
Yeah, I think I saw a couple of scrolling. So
Okay.
aim for the camera.
All right. Yes, there are some questions.
All right.
See, she makes me stay in front of the camera, man. I tell you.
Yes. I'd be cracking that whip, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, she's lucky I ain't got anything else I can juggle.
No more juggling. Oh, Charnel said she loves all the colors. Awesome. Someone else said it looks delish. It actually is really, really good.
It's really good.
And thank you for all the help that we do in the community. Oh, okay. We got a request for help with meal planning. Yes. So listen, next week we are doing meal planning. We are going to, we're going to send Charnel some, like a little bit of homework that can help you with meal planning. It really is about being able to know how to do it, right? So if you have the correct questions and you just answer those questions, I think that is a big, that's a big part of it.
We'll talk about how we conceptualize meals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can turn the switch a little bit on your thoughts, meal planning becomes so much easier.
Yeah. So next week we are gonna cook, right? Because we're gonna do a roasted. We're gonna take a roasted turkey, like a roasted chicken. I said turkey because I really want turkey, but we're gonna do a roast chicken and show them how to like break it down into different meals, right?
Yeah.
But we are gonna do some homework and a lot of talking because we're gonna talk about food journal.
Mm-hmm.
What else? We're going to talk about pantry audit. We're going to talk about food passport because all of that's important in meal prep, right?
Yes, and a food passport, if you worked with us today, your food passport, you would have just got about 10 stamps. What it is it's just like your regular travel passport. Every time you eat a different fruit or vegetable, you make a stamp. And the goal is to get you to eat more. There's an abundance of food that you can eat, especially vegetables and fruits. So this is about 10 stamps.
Awesome, awesome. So thank you so much for joining us. We are right at 2:59. We got some really great comments. We hope you love this class. The vegetarian and vegan class is always a little bit more challenging because people aren't as excited about the vegetables until they taste it.
Until you eat it.
Until they eat it, right?
Listen, we do this veggie muffaletta, which is like an Italian sub sandwich, right? Oh, that is so good. That is so good.
Next time we do a vegetarian class, we'll do a muffaletta. All right, so if there are no more questions, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Etna. Thank you, Charnel, for coordinating this.
Yes.
You can find us, though, after this class. If you email us at chefculture, make sure culture is with a K, chefculture@gmail.com. You can get our office number, 954-681-8715 is our office number. You can ask any questions that you want, and you can also, like Chef Chad said, find us on social media under Chef Culture. So thank you so much. Thank you. Someone said thank you, great class. Thank you so much for joining. And hopefully we'll see you next week for meal prep.
All right, and we're out. Oh, maybe not.
Yep. Charnel said she can't wait for the next recipe.
Awesome.
Yay.
Next recipes. Next week is going to be
fun. This is great. Awesome. Thank you for all the great ideas. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm gonna pause for a second just for any late comments.
Got it.
All right.
We're here for it because I want to eat.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody. Darlene said she hates cauliflower, but she's gonna try it. Try it. And even if you don't try it in the cauliflower mash, try it with the sear, right? So get your wok or your skillet, turn it on, make it hot, put a little bit of oil, drop the cauliflower in, try it that way and see if maybe charring it helps you with the flavor. It really makes a huge difference. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.